Guys? Welcome back to Talkin' Hawkins, our Stranger Things in review. My name is Kyle. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. Guys, we are here for Season 5, Episode 4, the last episode of this first 4-episode batch. I'm excited to talk about this one, guys. I'm going to give my thoughts on the episode, my Hawkins hero, which is my favorite character, a mouth breather, which is my least favorite character, and a score out of 10. So, guys, appreciate you. Let's go. They got me. They got me, dude. It didn't take much. I've been disappointed. This has been the worst season, I think, so far, guys. We're coming off of a couple of terrible episodes. And, guys, for a lot of this episode, I was like, this isn't great. You know, it wasn't as bad as the last two, but I was like, the Max stuff, okay. She's like, okay, let me explain this to you. How does it make sense that I'm in a coma in Hawkins General, but I'm here? Well, actually, I'm part of Henry's mind prison. And I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that. That's a cool storyline, right? She's like, oh, I was brought back to life by Elle, but then somehow she ended up in Henry's prison. Maybe that's his curse. That's cool. And then she's like, I'm just reliving his memories. And they go back to 1953. And I think Steve Harrington's dad is there because he's like, okay, Harrington. And, you know, he's kind of a douchebag. And she picks up the trash and it's like, oh my God, 1953. Henry Creel is there. But then it's like, okay, we get to see sort of like the bad memories. Like she's like, I'm trapped in here, and it's like Kate Bush. Man, she's like, oh, then I saw Kate Bush. And she's like, is that a friend of yours? And I'm like, oh my God, stop driving this Kate Bush stake into the ground. But you know what? Max goes in, she's like, that's when all went wrong, and she keeps reliving this memory. And then she's so close to joining the real world, right? And it's running up that hill is playing, and for whatever reason, that song like kind of protects her, and Vecna can't figure it out, which is a little strange because it's like he's so powerful, and this one song like saves Max. I don't understand, but she's going to run to the real world or whatever, and then the tape runs out, and Lucas has to reset it, and she's like, I was so close. That stuff, I wasn't like this is the coolest thing ever, but I was like, this is better than what we've gotten so far. And Elle is like, I'm gonna run into this base. I'm gonna time the lightning every 7 seconds. And Hopper's like, you got lucky. And she's like, no, you know what, dude? I'm just gonna sprint up and fly up there. And it's like the training sequence from the first episode, that's gonna pay off here. Except it works for a little bit, and then she takes on a whole base, and then she goes too early or something, and they get her and they capture her. And then Hopper's like gonna die with the squid thing, and then he escapes, and it's like this whole army base guys and the army people. I don't care about any of them. None of the characters are likable. The main guy that was trying to track down Elle last season is always wrong, and it's so dumb that every time something goes wrong or someone dies, they're like, it must have been Elle. They're like, you think it's the girl? It's like, gotta be. And it's like, dude, the Demogorgons are opening gates, and it's like, you think it's Elle, and it's just really dumb. And then that guy, and then this new like woman general, whatever, who's like the main boss, she's not likable at all, and she was thrown into it, and it's like I don't care about any of this stuff. So Hopper and Elle in there, I don't know, and then Hopper looks like he's gonna make like a sacrifice play. It was kind of weird. He's like, "Oh, I want to tell you how proud I am," but it didn't hit as hard. Like the Hopper moment that hits for me is when Joyce has to pull the keys in season 3, and that should have been Hopper's death, guys. Right? Hopper's there. He's looking. It's emotional. There's no way he survives that. And then they were like, oh, you know what? We got to bring Jim Hopper back because David Harbour's a star and he's carrying the show, and we got to bring it back. But I think he should have died with that scene. And then they had a flashback scene or something. But obviously, guys, last season he was in the prison. I thought that was kind of a waste. And then he's been kind of sidelined, but with Elle a little bit. But it hasn't felt the same. It hasn't felt like that Papa, not Papa, the character, but like the pop and daughter relationship. But guys, this episode is all about Will the goddamn wise, okay? Because Vecna finally shows up. He's got a glow up, dude. He's got new armor. It's kind of spiky. His face is a little bit different. He's evolved. He's leveled up, dude. It's perfect Cell now, right? He comes out, and it's like, oh, turns out the government did have Vecna. And guess what, guys? He's in here, and he comes out. And the silhouette going through this big kind of like hole, didn't love that. I wish that it was like he disappeared, or we blew it open or something, and he was standing in the fire or something. Give me sort of like a Venom-esque entrance or whatever. But Vecna's awesome, and he just fucking wrecks everyone. And, you know, he's like, William, he's like, you know, you can see them, right? And Will, he keeps kind of tapping in to the Demogorgons, but he can't do it. And you know it's building something, and Vecna fucking destroys everyone, and then he pulls up this scene behind me that we saw in the trailer, guys, and you know, he's like, we have one more thing to do, William, or whatever. And he pulls them up, and I think he says, you can see them, can't you? And so Will is the closest to Vecna for whatever reason. I think it's like he was the first, and it turns out that like Vecna is like trying to summon these like 12 kids or whatever. I thought that was kind of a weird angle, and there's a whole weird scene where it's not dipshit Daniel or it's not dipshit Derek anymore, guys. It's delightful Derek, and I'm like, okay, I guess. And he goes in, and it's kind of weird. And they just let this kid into the restricted area. He says my school is lost, whatever. But he's just like reporting all these things, and they have the sonar trucks like from the Incredible Hulk that stop L, and that's cool. Except it's not really used that much. And it's just strange because it's like, how did they get Vecna? And why are they working with Vecna? Or are they working with him? Are they powering him up? They had to have known. Maybe they didn't because he just ends up fucking killing all of them. But guys, we get eventually to Will and Vecna, and then it's like, look, his friends are gonna die, and the Demogorgons are all over them. And Will says, "Hold my beer, because I'm about to become the main fucking character of this show." And he goes Super Saiyan, dude, and he finally learns to control a speech from Robin, which I thought was like it should have been, I feel like, a speech from Mike or someone, because he sees this flashback, these cute scenes of him building Castle Byers with Jonathan and me first meeting Mike, and he's like, "You want to be my friend in kindergarten or whatever?" And it's like Mike and Will, their relationship I wish would have been a little bit stronger, because it seemed like Mike was more interested in Elle, and he was like, "You should have reached out more," and Will was kind of like struggling. And Vecna's like, "You don't belong in this world," and Will's like, "Guess what, dude? Maybe I don't belong in this world, but guess what? I got the same powers as you." And he kills the Demigorgons, he freezes them, and he kills them and snaps them, kind of like Vecna does. And he looks sick as fuck, dude. And his eyes are going, and I'm like, oh, let's go. This is his superhero moment. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Will has been kind of a not a bad character. They were kind of building towards it, obviously giving him more lines and stuff and making him more of a main focus. But Will was, I've mentioned, guys, it's like he's always a spy or something. And so I'm glad that they finally made it like, you know what? Yeah, he's been so connected to Vecna, and that's been a weak spot. But you know what, dude? He finally learned how to like unlock his powers, and now they finally have someone that can actually fight Vecna. And it's like, are we gonna get Will and Elle teaming up? Is Max gonna have powers and come in? I don't know. Is everyone gonna become Elle? I don't know. But that was a sick ass scene, and it's like, you know what, dude? I wish it was a little more rewarding, because you had so much kind of junk before that it wasn't building and building to this epic thing. But I gotta say, the moment that moment, like, I got chills, dude. I was like, all right, I'm not fully back in yet, but you got me in where I'm like, all right, dude, let's see what you got for the next 5 episodes or whatever, because now that you got Will, and like how much can you control this? Now there's like a whole new element. I'm all in on that. Vecna's got an actual threat now. Let's see what happens. And I still want to know like why he's acting as Henry and stuff and all that. I feel like it's still messy, but it's enough to get me in. And I wish with the stuff that came before it was better. But God damn it, you got me. You son of a bitch, I'm in. And let's go for the next episode. All right, guys, our Hawkins hero. It's Will the Wise, baby. Will's moment, dude. His coming out party. And he's like, you know what, dude? I got superpowers too. And like this could have been cheesy, right? And it was a little like, okay, Will's strong too, but I feel like this poor kid has been through so much. And now I'm like, okay, all the kids that Vecna was collecting and pumping through with whatever his plan was, right? Are they all going to have that power now? Or is this part of Vecna's plan, and is he now making Will an army, but Will can fight back? And so he's like, "Oh, Will, you were so easy. You were the first one. You were so easy to bend. This is why I'm collecting these kids, because they're so weak-minded in body and mind, and it's easy to control them." And Will's like, "Well, you know what, dude? I'm a big boy. I got my big boy pants on, right? And my big boy pants are dangerous because now I can fucking kill all the Demigorgons." And it's like, that's a really cool element. And we'll see again how that works. And I can totally see like Elle and Will working together and like fucking them up in the finale or something. So we'll see. The last fight against Vecna is probably gonna be awesome. Vecna is an Avengers level threat. He's a Thanos level threat. He's an awesome character. I'm so glad he's back. And it's like, let's see. But Will the Wise, my guy, he's been through hell and back. That's his moment. Guys, my mouth breather, it's got to be everybody associated with this military group. They got what they deserve, dude. They're playing with fire. You know, I don't know why they think they can control Demigorgons. They don't seem to know anything. They think Elle is being blamed for everything. They're trying to track her down. And it's like, dude, you have no idea what you're doing, whether they willingly kind of secured Vecna or not, or if he was hiding in plain sight, or what's going on. They totally underestimated him, and he just ends up fucking wiping them out. And it's like, good for them, dude, because I don't care at all about this military group. It's too many parties involved. I feel like you got to have the kids, and you got to have Vecna, and you got Hopper and Elle, and that's it. And all that stuff is cool in the Upside Down and Hawkins. You add in this military group trying to track down Elle, and I was like, this is so stupid. And I didn't like it last season, and I didn't like it even more now. And it's weird that they came in probably these gates in here, and it just felt like they had no idea what they were doing. So the military group, all of that stuff, my mouth breathers, my weakest part of this episode, and I think the weakest part of the season so far. But I just did not vibe with pretty much any of that stuff. All right, guys, that brings us to a score. It's an 8-6. It's an 8-6. It's a solid episode, guys. It's a great moment at the end. I don't want the great moment at the end to give that automatically a super high score. Like, this isn't going to be a 9-8 or anything. It's not going to be like a from start to finish, this was an incredible episode. I still was feeling the slog for a lot of this, and I still wish a lot of this was better. Even the part that, like, Steve drives in through the gate and they're like, it's not going to work. And I'm like, why wouldn't that work? You know, you've been through gates before, dude. You guys have gone through gates last season into the Upside Down. You know you can just go in and out. And I know these gates are slightly different because they open and then they're closing when the Demogorgon goes through, but like you should have known it would work. So little things like that. The Max stuff was pretty cool, but I didn't love it. But I love how she's like, hey, Vecna won't come in this cave. Henry will not come in this cave. Whatever is going on, he's terrified of this cave. And so obviously something traumatic or something crazy happened there. I'm sure we'll get a flashback or an episode about that, or scene at least. And so that's interesting to see. I think there's Vecna is such a great character and really cool between Henry and how he was like a fucked up child and now he's a super powerful demon and Elle banishing him to the Upside Down. That's so cool. And I need, and Will, I'm sure will be involved now too, but I need an Elle versus Vecna crazy, awesome final fight. And I'm sure we'll get it. But I love Vecna as a character. He's so cool and so awesome and intriguing and genuinely like menacing and intimidating. And Henry Creel is great and just a great performance. But guys, I'm all in. And you know what? I'm not all in. I'm mostly in. But this episode got me back, and I'm excited to see what's ahead. But return to form in some sense in this episode. Not the best episode of Stranger Things, not season one level, but I think a good bounce back and a hype ending that got me at least back in for the remaining episodes that come out in just a bit. All right, guys. Well, that is it for now. Again, when these go up, guys, I will probably be putting up episode 5 the week after. But in real time, guys, I gotta wait. It is December 2nd, I believe, at the time of this recording. And so I gotta wait about 23 days for the next batch of episodes, and then another 5 or 6 after that for the finale. The finale is gonna be nuts. It's gonna be really cool. I think just to know that the series is ending, and I really hope that they have this crazy epic thing because the show has had some really amazing moments, some awesome moments. Even like Eddie last season, guys, just shredding to Master of Puppets. Like that's an amazing scene. Maybe Eddie will come back in some sort of zombie form or something. That'd be awesome. But anything's possible in the Upside Down, guys. I wish they explored the Upside Down a little bit more because I still feel like it's a little bit of a mystery. But we have some episodes to go. We'll see what they dive into. But Will the Wise is here. And guys, I appreciate you stepping in and checking out Talkin' Hawkins. I'll be back for episode 5, guys. But for now, goodbye for now, and Will the Wise. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. Until next time. Peace.